Hi everybody, welcome back to Smarta.
With Marta. Today we're going to be doing a math lesson. This is a continuation of our addition review, and today we are going to be talking about expanded form. So we'll give you more information about that when we go over to the easel. I also wanted to mention before we get going with the jokes that the school has sent home a reading bingo for you to work on. So when you're doing your reading every day, it might be fun to do some of the things from the reading bingo.
You don't have to do it, but it's enjoyable if you want to.
And then you can send it to the school if you finish it, and you get entered into the draw to get a book. So that would be awesome.
That sounds good. Free books are always
all right. Jokes. Am I going first?
I think you are, yes.
Okay. This joke is brought to you by Georges. What do you call a shoe made out of a banana?
What do you call a shoe made out of a banana?
A slipper.
Nice.
Good one, George.
This joke comes from Scotia, and the cool thing about this joke is she made this joke up when she was brushing her teeth. So good for you, Scotia. It's really good, actually. What is a toothbrush's favorite vegetable?
I don't know.
A bristle sprout.
That's a good one, Scotia.
Well
Usually
done.
when kids make up jokes, they're kind of weird, but that one is actually pretty funny. Nice work.
Well done, Scotia.
Okay, one more thing before we head over to the easel. We're going to do the shout outs.
Nice. So my first shout out is for Odetta. Odetta sent some pictures in her writing of her doing gardening with her mom, and it was really great. All nice outdoor shots, pictures of mom and her planning their gardening, mom doing the gardening with her, and then the final product of all the pots. And she was so proud of all her gardening. Great job outdoor activity, Odetta.
That's like science and outdoor education.
And art even, yeah.
And fun.
Yeah,
That's definitely a good way to learn. Okay, my shout out is to Shelby. Remember when I told you guys to do something kind for somebody? Well, Shelby did something kind for me. Mr. Marta and I went to the school the other day to pick up the bags for some kids who didn't get a chance to pick them up so we could drop them off. And when I went out to my classroom to get the map for this week's social studies lesson, there was a beautiful heart on my door. This is a heart. There was a beautiful heart on my door with a note from Shelby. And that made my day, Shelby. Maybe even my week. So thank you very much.
I remember, Shelby, because it was just a couple of days ago, when we walked up to the door, we both made this sound. Aww. It was such a nice, kind act, Shelby.
All right. So thanks, guys. We're going to meet you over at the easel to do math.
See you there.
All right. Today we're going to talk about expanded form. But before we get there, we need to talk about how you need to know how to do partitioning before you know how to do expanded form.
Very important.
So if you're not feeling comfortable with expanded form yet, you need to stop this video and you need to go and practice some more partitioning. You might want to watch the partitioning videos again, or you might want to get your parents to make you questions, or you might want to roll the dice and make up your own questions, but you need to do more practice so that you feel good about it before we do expanded form.
Mm-hmm. And parents, expanded form for many of you might be very new. When you and I were kids, and I know I'm older than some of you, but I know when we were kids, we all learned the algorithm, which was the number stacked, add it, carry the one, add it, carry it again, add it. That is a really good strategy for quick calculation of an answer.
If you have a really big number.
Especially. Two things. It's taught last in our curriculum. And actually, it's not even in our curriculum anymore. We still teach it because it is an excellent strategy in certain scenarios, but the disadvantage of the algorithm is it doesn't teach you any of this. Go ahead, Mrs. Murray.
So the reason that we teach partitioning and expanded form is to build their number sense and their math sense. So we're talking to parents now. Kids, you can keep listening if you want. So one of the things that it's really good for is mental math. If I do a large addition question in my head, I can't do it if I'm like 9 plus 7 is 6, carry the 1. But if I'm going like 900 and 700 is 1600, that's an easier way to do it. So we're developing mental math skills by doing expanded form.
And by that, it naturally produces a better estimation. Because if you're doing algorithm and you're starting in the ones column and adding over, and you say, what's this number, what's the sum likely going to be? Adding up the ones doesn't give you any clues whatsoever. But starting on the left, whether it be the hundreds column or the tens column or even the thousands column, when you start with the left-hand side adding, right away it gives you a better estimate. Like Mrs. Marta said, 700 plus 900, she said, was 1600. You know the number is going to be close to or above 1600 at least. So expanded form is way better for estimating.
Right. It's also good for building number sense and understanding numbers. It's important that they understand the number 79 is 7 tens and 9 ones. And when we have the algorithm, we don't even really need to address that. So this is why we're doing expanded form. Kids, you can start paying attention now.
So, like Mrs. Marta said in the beginning of the video, only move on to expanded form when you're confident with partitioning. You have to have a firm grasp on partitioning first before going on expanded form. If you're ready for expanded form, do it. And the good thing is this, as before, home learning, video learning, you can always pause and rewind the video whenever you want to. So if you want to stop the video and do the question on your own before we do it, pause it. Or if you're like, what was that? Wait a minute, stop, rewind, listen again, do it again, go back even to further videos. That's the beautiful thing about this.
Remember how Mr. Marta just said he was old? Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, do you still rewind videos, or is that a thing from maybe your videotape
Probably
days?
A different term.
Yeah.
VHS,
Okay.
yes. All right, boys and girls, let's go on to our partitioning. We're calling it partitioning versus expanded form. So you can see we have 3 questions that Mrs. Marta are going to go over for you. And again, you can stop and do them before we get to them. But we want you to do them using partitioning so you get practice. But then Mrs. Marta will explain on this side how you do the exact same question for expanded forms. We're going to tag team this video. I'm going to do it in partitioning. Mrs. Marta will then give a tag team. She'll come over this side because we're both right-handed. And she's going to teach you expanded form. At the end of this video, there will be some on your own questions. We'll go from there. So let's start off right away with partitioning 47 plus 25. Now, all of these questions have been stacked already. Remember, they could be written on a single line, but we have to stack them for partitioning and expanded form. They have to be stacked, so we've already stacked them for you. Okay, partitioning. First off, we have to do is break 47 into its parts. What is that? Hope you're calling out 40 and 7. Break 25 into its parts for me. What is 25 broken into its parts, boys and girls? I'm guessing a lot of you said 20 plus 5. Now we simply add up those parts, hence partitioning. So 40 plus 20. I'm guessing a lot of you already know. Oh, I know that. We did it before. It's 60. If you're still having trouble going from 40 to 20 and 60, there's an easy way. Remember, you're in the tens column. So how many zeros in the tens column? There's 1 0. Now add your tens up. You have 4 tens here and 2 tens here. So 4 plus 2 is 6 with 60. So 40 plus 20 is 60. We go on to the ones column. 7 plus 5. Kind of a tough one. You can do it many ways. My brain automatically tries changing that 7 to a 10. I know I need 3 more to make it a 10, so I take 3 from here, make that a 10. If I took 3 from here, I'm only left with 2, so 10 plus 2 is 12. Another way you can do it, you can look at your doubles. 5 and 5. 5 and 5 is 10. This one has 2 more than the 5, so it's 10 plus 2. So
that's the way that I do it in my head.
Yeah, different brains, different things. That's what's great about math. So there we have 60 plus 12. Now, many of you might be able to do that already and see what it equals. And if you can, great, write it down. If you still want to break it down, you can. You break that 12 into 10 and 2. You bring that 60 down. So now you have all your parts ready. 60 plus 10 more is 70. 70 plus 2 more is 72. And now we're going to tag team.
I don't think we're going to switch places. I think I would rather write from this side.
Excellent.
We'll see how it works. Okay, so when you do expanded form, it's kind of like you're doing partitioning, but you're skipping this step. So the first thing you do is stack it up. Mr. Marta already did that for us, so that's done. The next thing I do is I have to think about this column here. These are the tens. This is like 40 and 20. Just like this. So in my head, I have to be able to go 40 and 20 is 60, and I just put the 60 underneath. Now, if you can't do that, you know it's a 10, so you're going to have the 0 because there's 1 0 and a 10, and 4 and 2 is 6. That's another way to do it. After I do that, now I'm going to add the 7 and 5, just like we did there. So I know that it's 12. Now, it's really important that you place the number carefully. You can't put the 1 here and the 2 here or it doesn't work. So 12 is like 1 10 and 2 1s. Now, I put my equals line. That's important. Don't skip that line or it's hard to read your question. This means equals. And I put my plus. And now it's pretty straightforward. I just go 6 and 1 is 7. 0 and 2 is 2. I check. I got the same answer both times. That's how I know I did it right.
I'm giggling right now because boys and girls in my class, you know I used to make my 2s like that, and you gave me trouble all in September. What is that number? What are you writing? And I changed my 2 to look like those. So you're seeing Mrs. Marta 2s like that. You can write 2s both ways.
You can.
It's all good.
They're okay. Good. It's okay.
So, Mrs. Marta, do you want to do expanded form first this time, or should we keep going partitioning?
No, I think we should keep doing partitioning first today.
Sounds good. So, we're on to 74 plus 93. So, I told Mrs. Marta I wouldn't draw arrows in one of them, even though I really, really want to.
Do you know what I'm thinking? Mr. Marta asked about doing expanded form first. If you think you can do expanded form first, just pause. Check it on your paper because you're just doing it for practice, right?
Exactly.
And see if you could do it. And then you can start the video back up again.
That's the beauty of video.
Yeah.
So I won't draw the arrows this time, but if it was me, I'd draw the arrows. I just like those arrows, but I'm not going to do it. I told Mrs. Marta to be fair. So break 74 into its parts, boys and girls. Call it out, please. What is 74? Hopefully you are yelling to the camera right now. 70 and 4. You can say 70 plus 4 or 70 and 4. Just like Mrs. Marta says, that plus means both. It means and. 93, broken into its parts. Call it out, please. 93 becomes 90 and 3. I draw my equals line. Let's start off on our tens column. It's a pretty big number this time. 70 plus 90. That's really tough to do. But I noticed that 90, it's only 10 away from 100. So if I borrow 10 from that 70, kick 10 down here, make that 100. So now in your brain, think, okay, that's now 100. I changed that 70. I left 10. Oh, so it's 60. So now I have 100 plus 60. What's 100 plus 60? 160. So you could write 160 right there. Or you could do it the other way. You're in the tens column. How many zeros in a 10? There's 1 0. So put it there. Add your number up. How many tens do you have? 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 tens. So 160. Plus 4 plus 3. Call it out, please. I know you all yelled 7. Now you just say it. 167. 167. Same question, expanded form.
We're going on to expanded form. Job 1, stack it up. Already done. Job 2, I have to think about 70 plus 90. Just like here, but we're not writing it out this time. So 70 plus 90, I can already see is 160. Thanks, Mr. Marta. So you'll notice that this 0 is under here, the 6 is under here, and the 1's way over here. Okay, I'm not writing it way over here.
Really, really important, boys and girls. You got to pretend the hundreds column's right there. So make sure you write it like Mrs. Marta did, not squish it beside the 16. Give it its own column.
Okay, next thing I'm going to do is add the 4 and the 3, just like I did here. 4 and 3 is 7. That's in the 1's column, so I need to put it right here. Mr. Marta's moving the board while I write. I do the plus and the equals line. And usually when I add them up, I know I didn't do it here, but usually when you add them up, you have to start on this side. So 0 and 7, 7, 6 and nothing. Nothing is like a 0. 6 and nothing is 6. 1 and nothing is 1. Look at that. Same answer, so I know I did it right.
So you can really see how partitioning is really related to expanded form, because you have to keep the partitioning part in your head. So you kind of skip a step. You're doing it in your head. You're not skipping it. You're doing it in your head rather than writing it down. So that's why it's the next step. So again, partitioning first, Ms. Marta. Where do you want to do it?
Nope, partitioning first.
All right.
If you want to do expanded form first, stop the video, do it, come back.
And there is some questions after this for you, challenging your own. Okay, 88 plus 56. Let's break it into its parts. Call it up, please. 88 becomes 80 and 8. 56 into its parts becomes 50 and 6. Let's find out what we have. 80 plus 50. So I'm going to do it the way I like to do it, and that is, how many zeros in a 10? Well, there's 1 0. 8 plus 5. I know it's 13 because I kicked 2 of these over to that 8 to become a 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. So 8 plus 5 is 13. I have 13 tens, which is 130. If you could do 80 plus 50 and you knew it was 130, write down 130 right away. Practice, practice, practice. 8 plus 6. I wonder how you boys and girls find strategy. That's what I miss about being in the classroom, Mrs. Marta, because my brain works a certain way. I love having 21 kids saying, when I say, my brain does this, what does your brain do to find this out? And I always have like 4 different ways to do it. And
I know. Right now we're just imagining what you're saying.
So the way my brain does 8 plus 6, again, I like changing that 8 to a 10 because 10 plus something is much easier for me. So 8 plus, okay, I need 2 more for a 10. So I kick 2 up here. If I took 2 away from 6, I'm left with 4. So 10 plus 4 is 14. And 8 plus 6 is 14. Now, you may be able to do this right now and solve the answer. If you can, do it. Great. If you still want to, or like to, or need to expand it into its parts, let's do it. So 14 becomes 10 and 4. I like drawing the arrows. 130. What's it become, boys and girls? 130 becomes 130. Sorry about the extra lines on those zeros. They kind of look like 6s. So now we've divided up into its parts all the way. So now let's just add it up. 100 plus 30 is 130. Now you got to keep that in your head. 130 plus 10 more, 140. Keep that in your head. 140 plus 4 more, 144.
Now, you will notice that Mr. Marta split this one up here. You wouldn't necessarily have to do that because we just said 130 is 130, and then we said 130 is 130. So we really already knew that. But if it helps you to split them up, do it that way.
Most definitely.
All right.
Can I cover this while you do it? Or do you need to see it?
You need a bigger hand there.
Okay.
Okay. So, is this a test for me or for them?
Both.
Okay. So, for expanded form, I've got it stacked up. Now I have to think about 80 plus 50. So I think about 80 plus 50 has 1 0 because it's tens. And then 8 and 5 is 13. Next thing I have to do, 8 plus 6 is 14. Don't put the 1 here. Has to go here.
Super important.
The easel is moving away.
I know my hands are blocking the number, so I can't hold it for you, Mrs. Marta.
Then I put the equals line. It's moving further and further. I'm trying to write
away.
really lightly so it doesn't go away. All right, then I go 0 plus 4 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. 1 plus nothing. Let's see. We got the same answer. We know we got it right.
So you can see how expanded form is quicker because you mentally do the partitioning in your head. So it is faster, but you have to be able to do partitioning before you can do that step.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to our homework, Mrs. Marta.
On your own questions.
On your own questions. You can talk all about them.
All right, so this is where you will pause.
Can I say one thing?
No, you're interrupting me. It's
I know,
my turn.
but I have to laugh.
First he said I could talk. Now he's interrupting
I had
me.
to rewrite 2 of these pages twice because Mr. Marta kept writing partitioning as partitioning.
That's okay.
Learn to spell, Mr. Marta.
It's okay, Mr. Marta. You just kept doing it until you got it right.
I did.
Stretched your brain.
I did.
All right, so this is where you are probably going to pause the video and write these down. Now, you will notice the way that Mr. Marta wrote them. There's more space on this side than this side because partitioning takes up more room. So when you put your line, if you put it down the middle, then you might not have enough room to do your partitioning. So just move it over a bit. I would maybe wait to draw your line till after you write your first question.
Do one at a time.
Then draw your line. Then do your questions. There you go. So we have 3 questions. We want you to do the partitioning and the expanded form. Do you know what? you do which one you want to do first.
But you gotta do both.
You have to do both, but if you want to do expanded form first, go ahead. If you want to do partitioning first, go ahead. The thing you need to do is make sure, did I get the same answer both times?
They should be exactly the same. And you can draw the arrows if you want to, like I do, or not if you don't like them.
Yeah. Do we have any challenge questions today? Sorry,
She's
I'm yawning.
These are the only questions today because tomorrow, boys and girls, we are going into a harder expanded form for the next lesson you see in the video list. And there will be your on your own and then some big time challenge questions. I have them ready already. Ready already. So there is some big challenge questions coming tomorrow.
So this is what you need to know. This is your homework. You need to have this done for when you watch the next video, which is going to be called Expanded Form Part 1 Answers. And if you finish this and you're like, I could do way harder questions, go ahead. Make yourself some way harder questions. Fill your boots.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Good job, everyone. You made it all the way to the end of the video, and you know the reward for making it all the way to the end is that you get a reward from Rexy. So you can see that Rexy's been enjoying the sunshine. We are so happy with the blue sky and sunny weather. People look at us a bit weird when we take them out for a walk, but we don't mind. Do we, Mr. Marta?
No, not at all.
Yeah. So Rexy has a joke for you. Here it is. What kind of dinosaur would Harry Potter be?
What kind of dinosaur would Harry Potter be?
A dino-sorcerer. Oh, Rexy, so funny. All right. See you guys later.
Wait.
What?
Rexy's wondering where has all his Easter chocolate gone to?
Well, it might be in my tummy.